Another Brick fan with a Harry Potter themed BrickHeadz set. This is Harry, Hermione, Ron, and Hagrid. This is set 40495, was released in June 2021, has 466 pieces and cost about $25 when it was released. This is one of 2 Harry Potter themed BrickHeadz sets released this year, and there's a total of 7 BrickHeadz from the Wizarding world so far. All of these characters have actually been BrickHeadz before. Hagrid was released last year and was a gift with purchase when you bought the Diagon Alley set. This is the second 4-pack of BrickHeadz that I've seen. The other one came out this year as well, and that was Scrooge McDuck with Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Let's go ahead and build this set and take a look at the BrickHeadz. Here are the completed BrickHeadz, and as you see here, we have Hagrid, Harry, Ron, and Hermione. This is based on year 1, where all of these characters met for the first time on the train, and then this is where Hagrid gathers all the first years and takes them across the lake into Hogwarts. Like I said, each of these has been released before, and let's take a quick look at all of them together. Here's a quick look at each of these BrickHeadz together. So here's the Hagrid from the last year's promotional set. Here's Harry, who originally came together with Harry and Hedwig in a $15 2-pack. Ron Weasley here came with Dumbledore in a $20 set, and then Hermione was set just by herself in a set. Let's take a close look at each of these figures. Starting with Hagrid, you see that he's wearing a big overcoat here in this nice darker nougat color. Beneath that, he has this brown shirt that goes over a red, another brown coat with a red behind that, and then his black belt is brick built here. Nicely done with his hair, kind of all over the place, a big beard, obviously. He's carrying his umbrella, which actually holds a fragment of his wand, as you remember from the movies. And then here's his hair just kind of all over the place. I think it's done quite well. I do like the shaping of this jacket all done with these tiles turned out quite nicely. There's this longer arms as you see here. Very nice look for Hagrid. If you compare it really quickly again, just a closer look at the one that was released last year, you see the hair is pretty similar, although there's a little bit more in front here. This looks like more of a receding hairline, so this is probably an older Hagrid. But you see that he does have a lantern and he is carrying the umbrella. And he has this big belt buckle in this case, as opposed to the print for the jacket. Let's move on to Harry Potter. Here is the first year version of Harry Potter, and obviously the first thing that sticks out to you is these gigantic eyes, which is how they represented the glasses, and I suppose he's got a very strong prescription because it really made his eyes big. These eyes I think are pretty much the same size as the eyepiece, maybe just a slightly bigger, but to me they just look a little off. This printing, I think, where it's white around here, if that would have been this flesh color or this tan color, I think that would have worked better and really indicated that you have glasses as opposed to the white. The white just makes it look like he's got gigantic eyes, which I don't think turned out very well. But other than that, you still see the lightning scar here on his forehead. His hair is kind of all over the place, which I think is a good look here. You see that he's wearing his gray Gryffindor sweater there with the signature colors and tie, which I guess he wouldn't have been wearing when he was coming across on the boat, but that's kind of what I thought of when I saw this pack together, was Hagrid gathering the first years up for the boats. Obviously this was done after that. I like how they built the robes up around the sides here, so it looks like it's kind of curled back and opened up in the front, which was nicely done. He has one hand here on the side, and you see the minifigure wand piece. Now I know I've complained many times about these minifigure accessories not fitting with a BrickHead, but this size BrickHead with this size wand looks just fine to me. Quickly taking a look at the older version or full version of Harry Potter. Here he's in his full black robes, as you see, and back then they didn't provide this minifigure scale wand. They just gave you a rod piece like they used to put in the older Harry Potter sets. And then I like these glasses much better. So it's an actual glasses piece that fits over the standard BrickHead eyes, which I think turned out better. I do like this Gryffindor print here for the front of the robe, and then he's wearing a Gryffindor colored scarf. So pretty nice look for Harry Potter in both incarnations, with the exception of these just way too big eyes. Let's move on to Ron. Here is our first year version of Ron Weasley. As you see, he's got that kind of orangey nougat colored hair. These three smaller figures are all done the same way. So you see the same print there with the Gryffindor tie and the collar there on the gray sweater, the build-up side of the robes here, and in the back where it slopes down, he has the one hand and it's facing forward. The difference, of course, comes in how the hair is designed. And obviously, in this case, he has the regular eyes as opposed to the big eyes that Harry did. And his hair, his bangs come down much lower on his forehead than they did with Harry. But as far as how the BrickHead is built, I mean, it's exactly the same with the exception of kind of how the hair is done. Taking a look at the original or full-size BrickHead for Ron, you see that he's wearing his robes again. So you see the shoulders here out on the robes. He has two of these 1x3 pieces that are printed with the Gryffindor scarf colors because he has his scarf open and just slung over his shoulders. So Ron's robe is kind of open in the front. He has kind of the similar print for the gray sweater there with the tie and everything, and then the same colored hair. So two good looks for Ron Weasley. Let's move on to our last BrickHead, which is Hermione Granger. Last up is our first year Hermione Granger. And like I said, the base of her is built the same way, same Gryffindor gray sweater with the print there, the same build up on the sides here for the robe with the one hand facing forward and her wand. Her hair is obviously different, so the hair is all built up, more flowing, longer hair as you would expect from Hermione. And like Ron, she has the very long bangs in front. whereas Harry had this all back because he had those giant eyes and then the scar. But overall, I think the hair turned out pretty nicely and shows some long curly hair for Hermione. Her larger or full-size BrickHead here is different. She's not wearing the robes at all. She's just in the Gryffindor sweater with a skirt. She's got an extra accessory with the book here, and of course she's using the rod piece instead of the wand piece. And then her hair is the same color, it's just built a little bit bigger. The wider bangs, more details along the sides here. Let's go back and I'll give you my final thoughts on the set. Overall, I think this is a really good looking set for these figures here. Like the other 4-pack, these 3 smaller figures are built very similarly. Like I said, as I've said several times, the only difference is the hair. But as far as the base and everything else that went with these figures, they're all pretty much built in the same manner. I think Hagrid looks really good. I do like this color for his jacket, his overcoat, and then that print is really good here for his jacket and shirt underneath there. The hair on Hagrid is done quite well, and all of these are very recognizable as the characters that they are representing. Quickly on to price. Normally, BrickHeadz cost about $10 for a full-size BrickHead, and then they add about $5 for the smaller ones. So that makes sense. We have one full-size BrickHead for $10, and then 3 of the smaller ones for $5 each, which puts us at $25. The price per piece here is 466 pieces for $25, so we're getting very close to the 5 to 6 cents per piece, which is well below the 10-cent kind of baseline I start with. But with BrickHeadz, it's more about charging per BrickHead as opposed to charging by piece count, because some BrickHeadz have lots and lots of pieces, mostly small pieces for hair and things like that. So I think this is priced right in line with all other BrickHead sets, and I think they're always a great value and wonderful display pieces. I hope you've enjoyed my thoughts on this Harry Potter BrickHead set. I'm going to get started on my next video, and until then, happy building. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to see more of my content. I've left a link to my Harry Potter review playlist as well as my BrickHead review playlist up here on the screen.